It's been a great start to the season for Jose Mourinho at Tottenham Hotspur, and we're coming up to almost his 1-year anniversary at the club. So we've picked out a few games as his best and worst, and let's look at some of the games from this season. I suppose one that you'd have to look at, Ali Moreno, is that 6-1 win over Manchester United. 2 goals from Son in that, 2 goals from Harry Kane as well. Spurs absolutely dominated this game. Martial was sent off. It's hard to look past it, isn't it?
Of course it is, because of the characters involved, in particular and especially Jose Mourinho, and what it means to play against Manchester United, a team that he just managed, and you could make the argument that a team that essentially pushed him out the door and said, "Nah, you're not good enough for us." And then he comes back with Spurs and beats them 6-1. Now, while we can go crazy and talk about how great Spurs were that very day and put it on Jose Mourinho and Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, it is far easier to go down the path of Manchester United were terrible. And now there has to be another team that takes advantage of you being terrible. And in this case, it was Spurs. And in that day in particular, they were very efficient, very effective in the attack, creative, and took full advantage of all the spaces that Manchester United left open out on the field. Credit to Spurs, credit to Mourinho, but let's not forget who the other character was in this play. And that character was really, really, really bad on the day.
A couple of match days later, everything looked to be smooth sailing for them against West Ham. They were 3-0 up very early on, but then West Ham managed to peg them back. That game finished 3-3. I suppose that was a bit of a blight this season for them.
You know, the interesting part about that was what Jose Mourinho said following the game when he was asked about giving up a lead late as they did. He said, well, that's football. No, it isn't. No, because you're just a Mourinho, see? And if you're a genius, if you are the guy that you have are expected to be for Spurs, you do not give up a lead with 10 minutes to go and 3-0 at that time. And so defensively, it's one of the things that we've come to appreciate about Jose Mourinho's teams, and some appreciate, and to some degree, we kind of say, man, this is just a Mourinho team, defensive, tough to beat. Well, if they're defensive and tough to beat, you cannot give up a 3-0 lead. You just can't have it happen, and from the 80-minute on. And that's what happened in that particular game. And so it's not just football. It's not just, well, West Ham was meant to tie this game up. You look at some of the frailties defensively from Spurs and how they could be exposed. And not only the defensive frailties, but the mental fragility as well, where a team that is winning, that has been so dominant for 80 minutes in a game, all of a sudden they're kind of nervous and they don't really know how to close it out. And now they're turning the ball over in bad areas and they get a little nervous. And I just didn't like that from Spurs. And I'm sure that Jose Mourinho didn't like it either.
Is he the right man for the job there?
Man, that is such a loaded question. Is he the right manager? I think from the very beginning I said I wasn't quite sure that this was the right appointment. I am certain that a change was needed because the situation had become pretty stale under Mauricio Pochettino, and they needed a change of scenery. They need a change of voice. Now, when people start going crazy and optimistic about Mourinho, and they say, well, look what he's done. Look at what he's doing with the team. Let's look at the numbers. And while you may point the finger at Mauricio Pochettino and say, well, the bad start last year really put Spurs in a really difficult position, well, they ended up 40 points behind Liverpool. With 40 points, a bunch of teams would have been safe from relegation last year. 40 points keeps you in the league. That's the difference between Liverpool and Spurs. And so you cannot ignore that. And so while there have been high moments, and there have been moments in which you say, yeah, they seem to be taking a step forward, there's also been a lot of mediocre play. There's also been a lot of average play. And we focus on the 6-1 against Manchester United, but kind of forget about, how difficult it was against Newcastle and giving up a late lead against West Ham. And those are all part of the same team. What I will tell you is that if there was ever an opportunity for Spurs to make a run, it's this season. Given all the circumstances, given all the injuries, given all the positive tests, given the opportunity and uncertainty that is at the top of this league right now, Spurs are right there. And if they continue to find an identity and continue to find a way of getting results, then they will be there in the conversation. I don't think they stick around till the end, but for the optimistic ones, for the ones that love San Jose Mourinho and appreciate San Jose Mourinho, well, this is the year. And so, in the end, we will evaluate what Spurs do. But there's an opportunity out there. It's whether they take advantage of that opportunity or not.
So you're not ruling them out as title challengers just yet. They are still in.
No, I ruled them out.
Too.
I ruled them out.
Okay, so if you rule them out there,
they'll be there somewhere or thereabouts, but I ruled them out. They're not winning.
Okay, cup competition then. We know one thing about Mourinho is that since Porto, he has won silverware at every single club he's managed at. Can he end the trophy drought at Spurs?
Sure he can. Sure. Some of these cup competitions are not going to be a priority for some of the clubs that may be serious contenders for the title. And Liverpool, for example, there are limitations right now because of injury, because of COVID-19. So if there's a cup competition that comes up, well, who knows who's going to play for Liverpool? Manchester City, they got to get themselves right in the Premier League first, and then they'll worry about cup competition. And up until that point, then Spurs is going to really have a free ride in this cup competitions, and up until we get to the very latter stages. And if in the latter stages of those competitions, Manchester City may be out, Liverpool may be out, then it really opens up an opportunity for Spurs. So, yeah, they have a real chance to end this drought as the case may be. But if I'm a Spurs fan, what kind of weight and what kind of value do I put in a cup competition if I have a real opportunity to win the Premier League? I don't know. It's for me, what is the priority? What's most important? If there's a chance to win the whole thing, then go on and take it. If you think you're that good, then go on and take it. If winning a cup competition or whatever that cup competition may be is good enough for you, then I think that says a lot about Spurs.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.